Hey everybody, Jesse here. Today I'm going to be taking you through the installation process for the ExoShield ULTRA DIY kit. It's important to note that the installation of your ExoShield ULTRA windshield protection film kit should be done indoors, somewhere where you can close the doors, turn off any sort of fans, and control the airflow. When you open up your box of ExoShield ULTRA, you'll find a roll inside, and around this roll is your piece of windshield protection film. Now, before you open up the windshield protection film, take note of the warning label because the edges of ExoShield ULTRA are very sharp and can cut you if mishandled. Since we're going through the DIY process in this video, let's take a look at the tools that come in the toolkit. We've gone ahead and given you a microfiber cloth. This is great for cleaning, but you should have a few extra on hand for sure. Next, you'll see a small bottle of soap. This is to be mixed with water for your slip solution. We've also included a squeegee handle and two separate blades, one for cleaning and one for using on the film to do the installation. The black spray bottle that's included has two settings, one mist and one for spray. This is great for cleaning as well as doing the installation. In this black bottle is where you'll have your slip solution. Keep in mind that you're likely going to have to refill this bottle 2 or 3 times throughout the installation. And lastly, we also included a red glass safe scrubby so that if there's any sort of caked on gunk on the windshield, you can easily remove it with some of the slip solution as well as using the red scrub pad on the glass. Now you can set up your squeegee blade for cleaning. We're going to use the red blade. So with the Allen key, secure the red blade into the handle. It's a good idea to take a moment and clean the inside of the windshield as well, so you don't mistake any sort of contamination on the outside of the glass during your install for something that's actually just on the inside. The next step here is going to be setting up your tools. So let's start with the slip solution. Using 3 to 5 drops of the soap, mix it with water in the black spray bottle and give it a good shake. Like I mentioned earlier, this spray bottle can be set to either mist or spray. So for the cleaning part, let's set it to spray so that we can get inside those gaskets in between the glass and the frame and make sure to flush out any of the debris that's going to be stuck in there to make sure it doesn't end up in the installation. While you're cleaning, go ahead and lift the wipers and spray them down, giving them a good wipe to make sure there's no contamination on there that might drip off onto the windshield during the installation as well. Using your microfiber rag, go back into those same gasketed areas between the glass and the body panels and wipe them out to get any remaining contamination in there. You're going to also want to check around the accessories if you have any additional lights or things like that. Clean those off now too because you don't want any contamination falling from there into your installation either. After you've finished your first pass of cleaning the windshield, you'll notice if there's anything still remaining on the glass. If there is, give it another spray with your slip solution and go at those areas with your glass safe scrub pad that came in the kit. A proper prep and clean is what leads to a great installation, so take your time here. After you feel like you've got any sort of stuck on debris off of the windshield, we still suggest going over the entire windshield one more time with the glass safe scrub pad to make sure that there's nothing remaining on the glass that could get in the way of your install. If you do have a ceramic coating on your glass, there's one additional step that you'll need to take, and that is cleaning it off with an isopropyl alcohol wash. So this is 99% alcohol mixed 3 parts water, 1 part alcohol, and then sprayed directly on the glass and wiped off with a microfiber rag. Now what we're going to do is respray the entire windshield and go over it using the red squeegee blade. This pass is going to basically tell you if there's anything remaining on the glass that you couldn't see or feel just by looking at it or using your hand. And the quickest way to tell is if the edge of the squeegee blade catches, then there's likely still something on there that needs to be addressed before moving on to the installation. At this point of the install, the inside and outside of your glass should be super clean, so it's a great time to take a few moments to actually look over the glass and see if there's any sort of imperfections, like chips or cracks or things like that that might have happened before getting the ExoShield ULTRA installed. The reason for this is some of those imperfections can be installed over, but if you have something that is big enough that needs repair, we would suggest doing that before installing ExoShield ULTRA. We're finished with the cleaning stages now, so let's go ahead and switch out from the red squeegee blade to the white installation squeegee blade. Now it's time for us to unroll our piece of ExoShield ULTRA and see what the film actually looks like. One of the things you'll notice on the film is there's a liner side up sticker on it. That's to indicate which side we're going to be removing when we're going through the application process. Before going into these next steps of the installation, now is the perfect time to refill and remix your slip solution. So starting from 0, refill the bottle with fresh water and add 3 to 5 drops of your soap. In this next step, the first thing we're going to do is wet the surface of the glass and the ExoShield ULTRA itself so that it has something to grab onto when we put the film onto the glass and get it ready to release the liner. As you can see here, we've put the side with the liner facing out, so the actual windshield protection side is touching the glass right now. And this is because we're going to have to release the liner itself before going into the installation stages. So we'll do that now. Using that white insulation squeegee, go ahead and tack down the center of the film so that the film doesn't release off of the windshield when you're removing the liner. Starting in one corner, release the liner like you would a sticker, except this time you're going to be spraying your slip solution in between the liner and the adhesive to keep contamination to a minimum. Continue releasing the liner until you're about halfway across the windshield, and then lay and flatten that liner back over top of the adhesive to protect it from any contamination. We're going to go ahead and do the same on the other side, lifting, spraying, and then relaying the liner onto the adhesive before rolling it up and prepping for what's called the reverse roll. Now we're going to gently roll the ExoShield ULTRA across the windshield, keeping track of the alignment, making sure it's not tunneling, as well as which is the top and bottom of the ExoShield ULTRA. This is important for the installation, and it's really easy to tell because the liner sticker is actually on the top. If you have somebody working with you, now is a great time to tag them in to help with cleaning while you hold on to the rolled piece of ExoShield ULTRA. If not, hold the roll in one hand and use your other hand to spray and then squeegee the windshield down one last time, because the next space that you're going to be installing in, the actual adhesive will be onto the glass. So right now we want to make sure there is zero contamination on the glass. During the application phase, you want the glass to stay wet, so make sure to thoroughly soak the windshield here before we go into the application step of putting the actual ExoShield ULTRA onto the glass. What we're going to do next is called the reverse roll. So with the roll in your hand, you want to take the liner from underneath and pass it to the top of the film. Now, when you place the ExoShield ULTRA onto the glass, the adhesive is exposed and should be directly on the glass. What we're going to do here is try to position it 1/16 inch from the edge, both the side edge, top and bottom, before unrolling it across the glass. If you are installing alone, what you'll need to do is walk the film across with your hand until you can pull it from the other side using the liner. But if you do have a second set of hands available, what we suggest is you stay on one side, and after you get it to about the center, pass the liner to the person on the other side so they can actually just unroll it across the windshield while you're holding it in place. After you've made sure your piece of ExoShield ULTRA is positioned correctly, we're going to re-wet the surface and tack it down using our white squeegee blade. Make a few short passes using about medium strength in the center of the windshield to get it tacked in place so that it's not going to be moving around for you during the rest of the squeegee passes. We're going to be doing multiple passes with the squeegee, so in this stage, medium strength is enough to get out much of the moisture underneath, and you'll be going again with a hard pass. So don't worry about getting everything. Right now, you want to get most of the moisture out with small, consistent passes overlapping about 50% each time. Repeat that exact same process on the other side using your medium strength squeegee strokes, doing small passes, making sure to overlap about 50% each time to drain out majority of the moisture. On your second pass with the squeegee, you're going to be using full force here. So re-wet the windshield and go over your exact same path again, this time using maximum force to get out any remaining moisture that's trapped between the film and the glass. The goal at the end of this step is to have the film laying completely flat on the glass with no air pockets or water still trapped underneath the film. Now, there will be a level of moisture that has to cure out after the installation, but right now there should be no pockets left. A few additional things to note here are if you've chosen to install this in the wintertime in freezing conditions, your vehicle is going to take a little bit of extra time to cure. So we would suggest making sure you have a climate-controlled environment, a warm garage, that you can leave this in overnight for 24 hours to make sure that some of that additional moisture is coming out before you take the film into the freezing conditions. In most conditions, you can expect the film to fully cure in about 2 weeks. Before we go ahead and call this installation complete, you're going to want to take the time to clean the surface of your ExoShield ULTRA and do one last inspection to make sure there's no contamination in your driver's line of sight. If you do notice dust or dirt under the film at this point, it's not too late. You can lift an edge and address it. Just be very careful. Go through with your slip solution, try to flush it out, and then go through the squeegee steps again. During the curing process, it's normal for you to notice some moisture under the film during those first 2 weeks. Don't worry, it will cure out. It just needs time and sunlight to do so. For more tips on how to maintain and get the most out of your ExoShield Ultra windshield protection film, check out getexoshield.com. If you've made it to the end of this video and are realizing that the DIY installation of the ExoShield Ultra Kit isn't for you, don't worry. We have tons of great installers all around the world that are ready to help you out. Find them by visiting getexoshield.com and checking out our installing partner map. Thanks to everyone for watching. We hope this video helps to answer any of the questions you have when it comes to installing the ExoShield Ultra DIY kit for Jeeps and Broncos. For anything else, feel free to DM us on our social media channels or send a message to help@getexoshield.com. Thanks so much. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.